Here to share more on our education strategy for RPS are two people that are probably no strangers to most of you in the crowd. One is our own Director of Digital Strategy, a repeat presenter at our town halls, previously on Scotch and Triple Play. Joining him is a marketing partner from Business Programs, probably supported most of us through AXA Retirement 360. I unfortunately wasn't able to deliver on their requested fog machine and strobe lights, but I know you guys will help me make up for that. Please help me welcome Ryan Gladys and Deb Ferriston on education.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. So Ryan and I are here today to talk about our plans for the education platform. And, it's great to follow the presentation because it reminded me that we're not here just to talk about education, but it is a lot about engagement. So I'm going to quickly give you the genesis of kind of how we got here today. Back in 2015 and 2016, as we began our plans for AXA Retirement 360 Mutual Fund platform, we engaged with Lippincott, a third-party innovation firm, and they helped us identify signature moments for the AXA Retirement program. We focused on the advisor and we focused on the plan sponsor, but it was recognized that the participant was extremely important and that there was a need to, in order to stay with the competition, to focus on that in 2017. So Ryan, myself, and others conducted competitive assessment of our top competitors. We looked specifically at the public and the behind the login experience. And we came away with a couple of major takeaways. Number one, just because you have a lot of content doesn't mean that you have a great experience. And this is no stranger to Brian and I both coming from digital, how important the user experience can be. Number two, we have the same content that our competitors do for the most part. It's just spread out throughout our website and other offline channels. So there's some low-hanging fruit to consolidate our content and put it in an education center first and foremost. But the bigger insight that we found was that we needed to focus behind the login, and we needed to invest in technology to build a education platform. And at the hub of that education platform is a retirement readiness tool, which enables actionable insights. And Ryan's going to take a deeper dive and kind of take you through what our vision is for that experience. And then we must not lose sight of the fact that as we build out this education platform, this engagement platform, and it won't just be a tool, that we're going to need to have a robust marketing strategy and communication strategy around it. So with that said, I just want to point out that the success metrics is increase sales, as well as to increase the number of participants on track to achieve retirement success. Primary audience is a participant, so we're investing in the participant experience, but it'll have a effect across all of our audiences: prospects, participants, plan sponsors, advisors, etc. Really just wanted to reiterate, so we looked at a lot of our major competitors. On the left, you see John Hancock. We found they had hundreds of tools, they had hundreds of articles, videos, but the overarching experience didn't necessarily drive action. While all the way on the right with Mass Mutual, and again, Ryan's going to do a deeper dive because we really are taking inspiration from them. They showed that there's a philosophy around retirement. And we were really inspired by that, and we'll talk more about that in a bit. And then just to reiterate the point that I was making around the experience, I can't emphasize this enough. Just building a tool is not enough. we see lots and lots of tools and calculators. Paulina and I have this conversation all the time. 65%, while 65% of participants deem retirement income tools as very important, and we hear that a lot, only 23% of participants actually use those tools. So ultimately, our goal is not just to build a tool, but it's to develop an experience, an education platform that will drive people to do the right things.
All right. Thanks, Deb. I typically I like to package my presentations with a unifying theme, and today's theme is inspirational quotes from AXA Group CEO Thomas B. Burrell. So how can we empower people to live a better life? Well, in thinking about our customer experience vision statement for this initiative, we stated we want to be the preferred retirement plan provider by empowering our customers, and this is the important part, to most effectively achieve their retirement income goals. So how would we do that? Well, we'd focus and we'd put the customer really at the heart of the overarching strategy. But to execute this, there are a couple things that we're going to do. As Deb mentioned, we want to build a tool that provides actionable insights. So what does that mean? We want to be able to provide that little snippet of information as this is what's wrong, this is what you need to do. Oh, and we also want to provide them with the mechanism to actually take action on that recommendation. And then the second component is building out that comprehensive engagement strategy. So we want to be able to continue to emphasize and reiterate this overarching strategy throughout all our messaging. After doing a really comprehensive competitive assessment, we really did view MassMutual as best in class. So because of that, they're who we look to for inspiration. They really pride themselves on the way they leverage participant data. And I think you can see from the screen, but there's really a lot that you have to work with. We know how old you are. We know about when you're planning to retire. We know about how much money you're making. Based on that, we can calculate what replacement income should look like. We also know how much you're saving and how you're allocated. With those inputs, you can calculate the likelihood of them actually having that replacement income. And that's the easy part of the equation. Where they differentiate themselves is they provide a few recommendations saying, all right, if you increase your savings rate from 10% to 12%, or if you reallocate your portfolio, your likelihood of you achieving replacement income improves. And they highlight that, and then you can take action in one click. So this is a really impressive value proposition that we'd like to build out a similar solution. Our solution, we don't want it to look like a scientist's pH test experiment here, but we want to have something that has behavioral finance type messaging that really includes benchmarking and helps to give them confidence in the recommendations that we're making to help drive action. So the focus is on participants, but this is something that would be really valuable to our RPCs and advisors when they have plan management reviews and could be a real differentiating feature as we have these RFP demos. Now, the other component, we're not just building a really cool tool. We want to have that overarching communication and engagement strategy. Now, here we don't have to look very far for inspiration. In the 4-3 K through 12 space, we have an industry-leading, award-winning communication program with the work we've done around triple play. So when we have individuals that are on the sidelines, how do we drive enrollment? What can we do there? When we have active plan participants, let's think about our in-force strategy and how do we do things like drive additional contributions, and even just having additional touch points really helps from a retention standpoint. We need to adapt our business model from payer to partner. So here the point we're trying to emphasize is that we can't look at this in a vacuum. This is about participant education, but we really need to have the plan sponsors and the advisors excited about this. We want them to be our biggest cheerleaders and to demonstrate the value of a participant education plan to them. So to do this, we're going to be building on a lot of the work that John Ishak has already started around plan management reviews. We're taking a look at, by age band, this is the percentage of people that are on track to have replacement income. Because at the end of the day, if you have a workforce that isn't retirement ready, that can have significant impacts to the bottom line. The other thing we want to emphasize is internally how we're speaking about success measures. So currently we talk a lot about gross outflows, gross inflows, which is okay. But if we pivot on individual outcomes, such as percentage of participants that are achieving replacement income, we can improve those metrics, but then it also enables us to align on a shared goal. So plan sponsors, if people are hitting this goal, they're going to have reduced costs because they're not going to have workers that are continuing to work just because they hadn't saved enough for retirement. AXA, we're going to improve underlying earnings because you're going to have more people saving, and the people that are saving are going to have better saving strategies. And then the client, they're going to have enough money to be able to retire with dignity. So we will be creating this future together. We have just kicked off this initiative, but we're going to be working through some of the initial requirements. And if you guys have any questions, happy to field them.